in the Holmby Hills section of West Los Angeles, an area foot for foot with more show business families than any other neighborhood in the world. Good evening, Your Honor.
Don't be so formal, Ed. I'm just the honorary mayor of Hollywood, remember? I can't even get my own parking tickets fixed.
Art, you seem to have divided your allegiance in the broadcasting business with programs on both CBS and NBC. Does this ever get to be a little confusing?
Well, no, I just look outside to see whether it's day or night, because I have an exclusive contract with CBS in the daytime and with NBC at night. And as a matter of fact, I carry it to such extremes that when I go to New York for a visit, I have lunch with Bill Paley and dinner with General Sarnoff.
Well, come and have breakfast with me when you come again, will you?
I'd love to.
Good evening, Mrs. Linkletter.
Good evening, Ed.
Do you have any special formula for raising youngsters?
Well, 5 formulas, I guess. One for each. They're all so different.
Art, tell me this. Where does your intense interest in kids stem from?
Well, not only from my 5 children and work in the YMCA and Boy Scouts, but of course the highlight of my show each day is what the kids say to me. As a matter of fact, I've written a book called Kids Say the Darndest Things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very happy with the way it's going, and it's just full of the comments that children have told me, like, my folks met in a nightclub. Well, what was your father doing? Well, he was a bartender. And your mother? Oh, she was attending a PTA meeting. And then I love this one. My folks were cousins in Massachusetts, but when they came out to California, they had to get married. There's some sort of a law out there.
So the kids really wrote the book, huh?
They wrote the book for me, and was illustrated by my good friend Charlie Schultz, who draws Peanuts. Isn't he one of your favorites?
Oh, yes, he is indeed.
And it's my idea of putting together a little information and philosophy about children, along with the funny things that they say. I'll never forget the boy who told me his mother had cautioned him not to say anything silly or preposterous. When I said, what kind of silly things could she worry about? He said, well, for one thing, she told me to be sure not to tell you that she's pregnant. Well, what's so silly about that? I commented kindly. Well, because she ain't.
Lois, with 5 children, I imagine you could write a pretty good book yourself, couldn't you?
One author in the family's enough.
Good for you.
I know my place.
By the way, Art, why don't you do something about raising the allowance for that daughter of yours? Don't you think you could manage it?
We're experimenting, Ed. I don't know what children need at school anymore, and if she needs a little more, why, maybe we can arrange it.
Art, what do you like best about this business we find ourselves in?
Well, you and I are both in the same business in a way, and that is the business of people. And you know how challenging it is and how different each person is. And each day I look forward to going down and meeting fascinating people and finding out about them. And as long as people are as different as they are, our business will never cease to be challenging and interesting and wonderful.
Would you think that one of the arts of interviewing, if there is an art, is to really listen and listen hard?
You've got it absolutely right. And talk to the people and listen to what they say and answer them. In fact, part of it is almost like hypnosis, and that is suggesting that you're interested and you like them. And of course, with children, that's the whole trick. Talk right to them, not down to them, and not up to them. And of course, I have an added trick in talking to children that nobody else can copy. After I've been chatting with them for a few minutes, they recognize we are on the same mental level, and they talk right to me.
Art, thank you very much for letting us come. Thank you, Mrs. Linkletter. And will you say good night to the wonderful children for us?
Thank you.